Okay, welcome to episode 501 of Salcedo Paranormal. And tonight I am talking more about haunted places in the U.S. Again, this is episode 501. As always, you can find all episodes of the show, along with links to social media and other ways to contact me at the podcast page. And that is salcedoparanormal.podbean.com. That's SALSIDO paranormal.podbean.com. Always happy to hear from you all, whether you have comments or questions or topic suggestions or stories of paranormal experiences, whether they're your own or from others that you trust. Happy to either read those or have you join me on the show to talk about them. Thank you all for listening, whether you are here for the live streams on Discord or if you listen on the podcast or YouTube feeds, or if you listen on the Troubled Minds Radio Network, KUAP Digital Broadcasting. There you can hear replays of 2 episodes of the show every night at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, right before Troubled Minds Radio comes on. As always, I want to thank Michael Strange, host of Troubled Minds Radio, as well as Liam Martin, host of the Exile Minds podcast, for producing the show and putting it up on the station, along with the music that you hear there. So, that takes care of that. If you'd like to support the show, there are some different ways to do that. You can always share the show with others and or rate and review it on your podcast platform of choice. I've also written some paranormal fiction and nonfiction books you can check out over on Amazon. And I have a Patreon page that has 1 extra episode of the show on it right now. More to come in November. And there you can sign up at any membership tier level to get that content, which will help the show as well. Also, if you'd just like to make a one-time donation to the show, you can do that through PayPal or Venmo. Help is never expected, but always appreciated, as there are expenses in making these shows, from equipment to research materials to travel expenses. In 2 weeks from today, as I record this, I will be going to the Mid-Michigan Paracon over in Mount Pleasant, Michigan, and that's at the Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort, November 4th and 5th. That's a Saturday and Sunday. And I'll be going and listening to as many presentations as I can, and just walking around and making audio recordings of myself and anyone else that wants to join me, talking all about all things paranormal. And then, of course, I will share those recordings on episodes of the show once I get back home. So looking forward to that. It's amazing that it's already 2 weeks away. So looking forward to that as well. And just it's going to be my first time, so I'm really kind of nervous, but also really excited. So, and thank you to everyone who has been helping out with supporting the show and everything, especially recently with your donations. Just because I had some things happen over the last month or so that sort of made things made things a little more challenging than usual, and getting all that set up and making sure I had all the resources I needed for that trip. So everything is looking better now, and I'm really grateful for that. And looking forward to promoting the show and also the network as well. So I think that takes care of all of that. Before I get to the topic of tonight's show, I have to say I was just outside checking the mail before I started the show here tonight. And so I went to get the mail, and as some of you know, if you've listened before, I've had experiences with seeing a blue light out in the sky. And I had that several times last year, basically 7 times total. And I saw something similar tonight. It might have been the same thing, but with the clouds that looked different. I don't really know. But yeah, it was really odd. It was I was getting the mail. It's really cloudy out right now. And but I noticed as I was going towards the mailbox, I could see this patch of clouds. It was like a line of the clouds that was lit up blue again, from what I could tell. And there were these 2 brighter points of blue light in this line of lit up cloud, and they were moving slowly around each other, and then they either merged or one flew in front of the other, and then the other faded. I'm not sure. And then the one that was left was moving around a little bit as I was walking, and then that faded. And the patch of the dim blue sort of stayed there for, I don't know, another few seconds or so after that as I was getting closer to the mailbox. And then when I got there and looked at the mailbox for a second just to make sure I was right where I needed to be, and then looked up again, it was gone. So I don't know what it was. I did have a weird feeling from it. Not saying that proves anything, but I'm feeling like I may have seen something again tonight. So really, and just like I said, it was like 20 minutes before going live here on this show. So yeah, really amazing how that happened. I don't know for sure what it was. If there's a logical explanation, then that's fine. But it was surprising because I normally don't see a lot in the sky, and but I did tonight. So just wanted to share that. And so yeah, that was pretty neat. But and that doesn't really have anything to do directly with the topic for tonight. Of course, this is the next sort of chapter in this series of shows I'm doing. Excuse me, on haunted places in the U.S. And of course, I'm doing this state by state. So we're starting with Alabama. I've already done quite a few shows on this state. Well, I mean, at least a few shows, about 4 or 5, I believe. And and I probably have another 2 or 3 to go before I move on to the next state. But so yeah, this is just a sort of a it's going to be an ongoing look, just in case anyone missed the very beginning of this. I just want to look at reports of paranormal activity all across the U.S. and see what kind of similarities I can find and differences, and just have a sort of a catalog of all these places in general, along with all of the other shows where I sort of catalog individual experiences. I think it's going to be a good sort of counterpoint, or sort of other part to this whole equation of whatever is going on here. Excuse me, to have this series of shows on this topic. So of the actual places, maybe where there's things going on. So so that's the reason behind doing this series. And so yeah, that's the plan here for this. And this time I have one location that's probably going to take up the whole show here. And I have a few articles on that. If you join the Discord, I recommend that. I have a channel called Show Notes and Sources, and you can find all the articles that I use for these shows in that channel. And I always include them in the episode descriptions as well. But that's a nice long list of articles. If you join the Discord and check out that channel, there's all kinds of stuff you can check out there, and just the things I've found online. So this next location I want to talk about is, let me bring up this first article here, and then we'll go from there. I believe it's Fort Morgan. I believe is what it is. Let me just double check on that. So, but yeah, let me see here. Let me check on the title of this article here. Our first article is from onlyinyourstate.com. Again, this is a website that comes up a lot when I'm doing these articles or these shows on these locations. And this title of this one reads "The One Historic Battle Site in Alabama That's Seen Its Fair Share of Ghosts." And so the construction of this fort. Let me check on the location here. So, just going to one of the other articles here. I just need to make sure I have the name right. Okay, yep, that was right. Fort Morgan. This is Alabama. And this article here, all these articles have pictures, which are really neat to look at. And so we'll just go over this first article here. This construction began on this site in 1819 and was completed. I've seen in different articles either 1819, and I said, and then so it started in 1819 and then ended. I've seen either 1833 or 1834, and so apparently this fort was different because it was shaped like a star, and apparently it made it much easier to defend, according to the article here. When it was originally built, it was considered the finest example of military architecture in the New World at that time. So, and of course, it talks about the role it played in the Civil War in the U.S. here during the 1860s. Mentions that there was a battle nearby called the Battle of Mobile Bay. It says the Union set the fort on fire. There's a typo in that part right there, but anyway. But this historic battle, it says, resulted in many deaths, obviously, and some people are convinced that some of the people that passed away that day never left, and that's common among a lot of sites like this that are battlefields from that time period. And let me see here. So I'm scrolling down here. It has a lot of amazing pictures of the location. And says that this article says one of the most haunted areas of the fort is the old barracks. Apparently, in 1917, there was a soldier that passed in the barracks, and since then, many people have heard him moving around and making other noises, crying, and just other unsettling sounds. So, but going back to the Civil War, there was and this I've heard this in multiple locations. I'm guessing it was just due to the technology of the time; things were not always stable. I've heard this in other locations happening as well, where bombs that were used in the wars, unfortunately, would go off while they were in storage in these forts, and then that would unfortunately kill the people that were around them. And then of course the story is that those spirits are still there, and people have reported hearing screams, of course, in those areas from possibly that event. So apparently there is one spirit that belongs to a young woman that is, I'm guessing, seen there. So this woman was, according to the article here, she passed in the 19th century. Local legend, of course, hopefully this was just a legend, that she was attacked, but she roams the area looking for this person that attacked her and wants to bring them to justice. So, hoping that's just a legend. Could be even a case of Tulpa, where there's just this story, this legend that builds up over time and leads to that sort of event. But let's see here. So this, I think the rest of this is not really about the location. Yeah, okay. So that's where the article ends as far as it talks about that location. And again, I'll include that in the episode description for this show. So that's the first article I had for today. And it's sad, but also amazing that so many of these sites that have ties to wars, there's just so much activity thereafter, and but also understandable in a way. But moving on to the next article here. This one is from narcity.com, Narcity. And this is another site that comes up a lot. The title of this article reads, "This haunted Alabama fort transformed into a terrifying escape room." Apparently this was an event that was held there. I don't know if it still is. Oh, and I forgot to. I started off kind of out of sorts tonight with this show because my recording software was acting weird. The software I used to record. I guess it still works in the middle. Just a couple of things to point out here with these shows. As always, I am not a historian, so I'm just basing all these shows on what I'm able to find online, but also that includes details about as to whether or not these places are open to the public. And these are articles that are put out and then maybe updated once or twice, but it's up to everyone who listens to these shows to sort of do your own research to find out if they're still open to the public to go and check out, because I don't ever recommend trespassing for all kinds of reasons, including safety concerns, but also legal, and then just privacy, just to respect the privacy of the people that either live or work in these locations or near them that I talk about here in these shows. So just always like to share those couple of things to remind everyone about when I'm covering these, when I'm doing these shows on these locations. So because the location may not be doing what these articles say or talk about in these articles still at this point. These articles are fixed in certain points in time, and so things can change over time between when they're written and when I do these shows, and then of course when people hear these shows. So just a couple of quick things there I always like to mention when I do these shows. So anyway, sorry about that. Back to the article here, but it's definitely very important to me for, like I said, a lot of different reasons. So anyway, going back to this article here. Apparently, at one point, this and I've heard of this, but I've never done it before, and I don't think I really want to. But this is let me see here. So this is an event that was held at different times, where people would try to solve a puzzle and to get out of an area, basically, that is predetermined by this event. But in this case, this event was held in the fort, and it was sort of inspired by apparently real life events from before. So this so let's see here. I'm gonna skip the part about the attraction because that's not so much what I'm into. But so now we're in this article. It starts talking about local legends. Talk about the past of the location. Now, apparently, I'm guessing it mentions that in the area, even before it was finished, before it was made, there was activity in the area, and it was known for sort of being a battle area. And so let's see here, nearly 100. So apparently, at one point before the fort was constructed, and during the War of 1812, let's see here. There's stories of soldiers, prisoners, and even Native Americans in the area who were held at the fort, and some of them, of course, about 100 people in total, according to this article here, never quite left the area. And there's unmarked graves apparently in the area. So now, of course, it does say legend, so hopefully this is not the case. But apparently guests, according to, let's see here, looking at the name of this, there's a historian in the area named, last name is Tucker, mentioned that according to people who visited the site, guests there have been tapped, seen shadows, and heard footsteps, especially at night in the location. And so that seems similar to what the other article was talking about with sounds and things. Shadow figures do seem to be common in apparitions. And of course, we really don't know what shadow figures are, so it could still be basically the people that were there before. So you never really know. But so that's the article talks more about the attraction that was at that location, that escape room event there, and it does have a website in case anyone is interested. Just keep in mind, I don't know if this is still being done or not. So, yeah, that's basically that's all that there is to that article there. I have a couple more here, but I don't think there's really a lot of time left to dig into these other articles here. But so I think I'll save those for next time and make this a 2-part little mini series on this location. So I do have a couple articles left, and I really have 3, but there's one that's really short that just gives the location of the site and talks more, briefly, just like in one sentence, about shadows that are seen on the site and similar things like that, and it gives the location and a map and everything. So, and all that again can be found in the episode description and the Discord channel as well. So, but it's really good to be back doing this. I did have to take a night off on Thursday. I hadn't planned on it, but I had a lot going on that day, so that's why I had to take that night off. Thank you all for understanding, and definitely doing much better now that I've had a couple of days to, or at least a day and a half to rest and get ready to do these shows again. So I'll be doing shows as much as I can again, like I said, all the way up through Halloween, basically 6 days a week until the day after Halloween. So, and then of course I'll be taking that week of that week starting with that Saturday, basically the November 4th, that whole week of shows, the 4th through that Saturday through that next Wednesday. I'll be taking that off just to do the event, to go to that event, and then come back and recover and organize and get things ready for shows on the weekend after that. So I'm looking forward to that. Thank you all for being here for this show so far, all these episodes. Again, if you didn't get to listen to the last episode I did with Derek, friend of the show, Derek, that was amazing. A lot of fun talking with him. And please check out all the links in the episodes that go to other people's projects. And I cannot remember now if I linked. I think I did. So please check out the links that go to everyone else's projects, because I've had so many people help out with this show, and I really appreciate it. And so yeah, and it's looking forward to having more guests as we go forward. And just another note: if you have had an experience with the paranormal and you don't mind coming on the show to talk about it, you're always welcome. Let me know here in Discord, and we'll arrange a day and a time. So, but let's go ahead and take care of tonight's show. Thank you all for listening, and I'll talk to you all on the next episode of Salcedo Paranormal. Take care.